Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. We are launching a new series on the show. Right now, I'm calling it Mortgage Minute. Probably going to be Mortgage Minutes. But I have my friend, our big team leader, the one and only K Roller. Kevin Roller is with us. LeaderOne is our company. Kevin is, without a doubt, and he did not pay me to say this, the smartest LO I've ever met. The smartest loan pro I've ever met. He knows how to work a deal, and he's also a really great human. Welcome, Kevin. How you doing?
Thank you, Ted. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, buddy. What a great Wednesday morning. Glad to be on the show and glad to have you part of the LeaderOne team. You're an amazing individual and human being yourself. So thank you.
Thank you. Oh, see, and I didn't pay him to say that. That was actually really kind. Thanks, buddy. All right, so the point of this is there's so much misinformation out there, so we want to give you some real life examples of what's going on. Maybe talk a little bit about all of the hubbub that's out there, and then really focus on the things that LeaderOne and Kevin and the team do best, which is a lot. So I'll let you take it, Mr. K Roller.
I think that with that being said, probably the best thing is like a real life example. Is that cool if I share something?
I love it.
This is from Friday, so it wasn't today, but it was from a few business days ago, right? We had a client call, and actually by client I had a realtor call, and they were looking for pre-approval for their client, right? Our customer, and so the customer applied, and I looked at their information, and we really, he wanted to go non-contingent. So I was like, okay, well, you don't quite qualify for non-contingent yet, but there may be some additional income I can look at, right? So go ahead and send me in your tax returns. Go ahead and send me in your because there's two borrowers. One was self-employed, had some Uber income on top of their W-2 income, and one possibly had some overtime and some other income that I could calculate. And I wanted to maximize the income to see how high I could go non-contingent. Meaning we were going to really look at treating their current home that they were exiting as a kind of almost as an investment property. We're going to hit them for that payment plus the new payment, right?
Right.
So the realtor calls, they don't know me yet. It's a new realtor, and they're like, hey, I just want to make sure that you are doing X, Y, and Z. I said, just to be clear, Mr. Realtor, I'm absolutely looking at first, we're going to try to go non-contingent, full income, no tricks, because that's going to be the best for the client, right? Now, second, if we can't do that, we could look at potentially doing a bridge loan, right? We could do a bridge loan and take out some equity from their current home because there's a lot of equity, pay off some bills, use a down payment, and get them to qualify that way so they can, again, go non-contingent. Third, we can look at making a guaranteed offer on their exiting home so that we don't have to count that in their debt to income ratio. But that would be the last option because it gives them 4 months to sell their home. And if they don't, then they have a guaranteed buy at a reduced price from what it's actually worth. So I wouldn't want to put them in that situation. And fourth, they could go contingent. So there's a lot of things I'm going to look at. And that's one of the reasons you're going to enjoy working with us is because we don't just stop at no, you don't qualify non-contingent. We look at a lot of different avenues. And that's one of the reasons you have to work with just a seasoned veteran that understands the process and the tools and everything that's available to their clients' customers, our customers, right? So I would think that is a perfect example, like what happened on Friday, of what we do every day in certain situations. We're not going to just do a pre-approval and say, here's a contingent pre-approval. We're going to say, hey, you can go non-contingent 3 different ways, right? You can go contingent.
Taking the time to do it, and my experience, truly, and all of my realtor friends will attest to this, the experience is a quick glance. If it looks like it's going to be a lot of work or even a little bit extra work, it's a no. It's almost a no immediately. I feel like in our industry, there's a lot of no's coming off of lips where they're not taking the time like you and the team do to really analyze and look and try to find solutions. When I talk to people all the time, the realtors all the time, and tell them we're solution based. We're trying to figure out a solution. We're not trying to turn away business. We're trying to figure out how to make it work within the parameters that we have. But a lot of times people just glance at stuff and they just say, oh, absolutely not, Ted. Absolutely not, Ted, or absolutely not realtor A or B. So I love the fact that you all do that. I think it sets us apart from everyone else.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it allows our clients and our customers to succeed in this market. So the clients, our realtors, they can make more money. They just end up making more money when they use us because we exhaust all avenues to help our customers.
Yes,
Right?
we do. We exhaust everything. And then, so can you just? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think everybody's been asking me, what do I think about the rates? And I know we're not going to talk specific rates, but people are like, do you think it's a good time to refi, Ted? Are you guys expecting a refi boom? And what are you seeing out there? And so can you kind of give us a brief overview of what your thoughts are on that?
Yeah. According to Freddie Mac, 42% of all applications last week were refinance applications. So there's absolutely people that are looking to refinance right now. Now, not everybody's going to qualify for a refinance. There's a few reasons you may refinance. One may be because the rate's lower. It is, in fact, lower. Now's a great time to refinance. If you bought in the last 2 years and you can save a few $100s a month, why not refinance? Well, what if rates go lower? Well, if you save $3,000 over the next 6 months and then you get the opportunity to refinance again, you're likely going to do that, right?
Yes.
But if they don't go any lower, and in fact, if they turn around and go higher, then you're going to wish you would have refinanced. Nobody can time it perfect, right? So if you can save money, you could refinance. The second reason people may be, that 42% is because there's just a ton of equity in homes right now. There's more equity than ever before. And there's also more debt right now. There's more credit card debt than ever before. It's the highest point it's ever reached, which is probably swallowing people's income, right? And then the average car payment now is over $1,000 a month. That's a huge payment, right? So some people may be doing some debt consolidation. That's another great reason to refinance. And then with the rapid appreciation, some people may be or have the opportunity to get rid of mortgage insurance, right? So there's any number of reasons why people are looking to refinance. But yeah, now is a good time to at least look at it and see if there's a benefit to doing it. It doesn't take long to say, yeah, it makes sense, or no, it doesn't make sense.
And then to piggyback on that, tell them a little bit about our soft pull, because you did that presentation a lot to the realtors when you were here, but I'd love for people to hear that.
Okay, so for now, we were approved to do kind of a beta test with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac where we can do a soft pull. And don't get me wrong, most lenders can do soft pulls, but not all lenders can then take that soft pull and run it through DU, which is Fannie Mae's desktop underwriting, and LP, which is Freddie Mac's desktop underwriting. And get an automated underwriting approval. That just isn't for everybody, but we have the ability to do that. So every application that comes in, we pull a soft pull and we can see if they qualify and do a pre-approval without doing a hard credit check. That's huge for a couple of reasons. One, there's the barrier, right? The barrier to entry. Like, I don't want my credit checked, right? I don't want a hard hit. People think it's such a negative thing in some circles, right? And it can be, but it's not necessarily. But again, it's a barrier to entry, and we can overcome that. But second, right now, when any lender does a hard credit check, Equifax is selling what's called trigger leads, and those trigger leads go to multiple places: lenders, insurance companies, potentially other realtors, and so that client may get 20 phone calls and text messages and just inundated over the next 24 to 48 hours and forget who the realtor is, get confused with who the lender was, end up with another lender who sends them to another realtor. It just becomes like this. You don't even know as a realtor or lender how many clients you may have lost because another lender did a hard credit check. And then they got confused, right? So the soft pull's huge. That's why we pushed the initiative, and that's why we really wanted to go this route with the beta test with Fannie and Freddie, was to really insulate our customers and to help our clients from losing their customers. Does that make sense?
It's amazing. Honestly, it takes away, that's probably the largest barrier. I don't want my credit pulled. I'm afraid it's going to impact my credit. And so our ability to do that is just such a win-win for everyone, because we can check it and it's not hitting them. And so any hesitation there, it takes away that barrier. And before we leave, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you to explain why us not having overlays is so critical and so important.
So an overlay is any additional requirement on top of the agency's guidelines. So, for example, let's say somebody's looking at doing just a conventional loan, right? And the lender has let's say they're going to a specific bank that requires a 680 FICO score. And that client gets turned down because they have a 640 FICO score. Well, Fannie and Freddie both allow a 640 FICO score. So you may think they got turned down. They may think they got turned down. And now you lose a client. Now, that doesn't happen so often, but what if it's like a VA loan? A VA loan has no debt to income ratio limit. So let's say that it's a veteran and they really want to find, a $300,000 home, and that lender's like, your debt to income ratio can't exceed X. So you're at 200,000. That you can't go over that. But that veteran may actually qualify for more, because VA doesn't necessarily look at debt to income ratio. They're looking at disposable income, right? Which they call residual income, which is the income left over after paying your household bills, which is an important indicator of your ability to pay your bills, right? So FHA and VA, they both go down to a 500 FICO. I would venture to say most lenders out there have some threshold of a 580, a 600, a 620, a 640, whatever it is. Yes, those are all overlays. So at LeaderOne, if you have a 500 FICO and you're eligible for FHA financing, we're going to look at you, because FHA allows down to a 500 FICO, and so does VA. So we're not going to cap you and say you don't qualify just because you don't have a 580 FICO.
Right.
Does that make sense? So that's overlays. They can be a debt to income ratio requirement. It could be a reserve requirement. An example would be a lot of lenders require 2 years self-employed. We don't. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac don't necessarily require 2 years tax returns or 2 years self-employment income history. So there's just a lot of overlays that other institutions have that we don't. We follow the guidelines.
Yes. So we have a flyer out there, we want to try to save your deals. Before you tell your client no, reach out to me, send over what they have. We do the soft credit pull. So again, there's nothing that's going to impact them on the credit. And let's take a look at it. Because we have no overlays, I just think that opens the door. And I hate for you all, especially in this market right now, to lose any kind of business just because you're working with a particular company that does have overlays and adds that in. And so you may be sending away a deal that we would absolutely write. Kevin talks about it when we meet one-on-one with realtors. When he's here, we talk about how we want to take a look. We don't want you to lose a business because you spend so much time getting that business and working on it. Let us take a look at it seriously. So we have so much good stuff at LeaderOne with the one and only K Roller. If you have questions, obviously you can reach out to me. You can text me or call me anytime at 407-810-5670. Guys, I know you have been with me for the long haul, and I appreciate all of you. But Kevin is the real deal. LeaderOne is the real deal, and our team is absolutely the real deal. Thanks, Kevin, so much. We'll be back each week, and we'll talk more about things that are going on, maybe highlight some of the programs that we have. We have a wide menu of programs that are available to you. All right, Kevin, thank you so much for all you do. Appreciate you guys. Reach out to me. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.